It's Wednesday, August 29th. Almost 3 months after arresting 5 human rights activists on grounds that they were urban Maoists, a team from the Pune Police in Maharashtra raided the homes of several other activists in various parts of the country on Tuesday. At least 5 of the activists have been arrested: Sudha Bhardwaj in Faridabad, Gautam Navlakha in Delhi, Varavara Rao in Hyderabad, Vernon Gonzalez and Arun Ferreira in Mumbai. Others whose homes were raided include 83-year-old activist Stan Swamy in Ranchi and professor and activist Anand Teltumde in Goa. The raids and arrests were carried out in connection with a public meeting organized by Dalit and Adivasi rights groups days before caste-related violence broke out in Bhima Koregaon near Pune on the 1st of January. In June this year, lawyer Surendra Gadling, Professor Shoma Sen, activist Mahesh Raut, Dalit rights activist Sudhir Dhavle, and activist Rona Wilson were arrested. These arrests and raids mark an ironic shift of focus away from the investigation of cases against Hindutva leaders Milind Ekbote and Sambhaji Bide, who've been accused of making provocative speeches that is believed to have triggered the violence in Bhima Koregaon in January. A day after the arrest of the 5 activists in June, the Pune Police had leaked 2 letters to some sections of the media, which they claimed to have recovered from Wilson and others. The letters appeared to discuss a plot by Maoists to assassinate Prime Minister Modi. The authenticity of the letters has not yet been verified, but activists have pointed out that by sharing these alleged pieces of evidence with the media before actually presenting them in court, the police was blatantly violating the law. Lawyer Sudha Bhardwaj is one of those accused of being an urban Naxal by a news channel Republic TV on the 4th of July, when its anchor claimed to possess the letter that linked her to Naxals and Kashmiri separatists. Bhardwaj, an IIT Kanpur alumnus, has a stellar record as a tribal rights activist in Chhattisgarh for the past 29 years. She has fought to ensure proper compensation for workers employed in the mining industry. Bhardwaj, who is a visiting professor at the National Law University in Delhi, had sent a legal notice to the channel for what she said was their ridiculous, scurrilous and unsubstantiated allegations. Others who've been labelled urban Naxal include Bela Bhatia, a former professor at TIS in Mumbai who had helped Adivasi women in Bastar file sexual harassment charges against the CRPF. Rights activists point to past cases to say how charges of being Naxal levelled against human rights defenders have not held up in a court of law. Anand Teltumde writes in the Republic of Caste, "A cursory look at the so-called Maoist cases will reveal that the main intention of the police is to harass people by keeping them in jail for as long as possible." The most contentious economic policy decision of the Narendra Modi administration, demonetisation, has been debated in the Parliamentary Standing Committee on Finance for nearly 2 years now. But the report is unlikely to see the light of day because BJP MPs in the committee have reportedly derailed the adoption of the report, which criticizes demonetisation as an ill-conceived exercise that led to the lowering of the GDP by at least 1 percentage point. The draft report had also urged the government to objectively study the impact of note ban on the Indian economy. The BJP has 17 members in the 31-member committee. Top officials of the Finance Ministry and the RBI governor had appeared before the panel. Your lungs, your skin, and now even your brain. Chronic exposure to air pollution could significantly reduce your cognitive abilities, according to a new China-USA study. The study that aims at linking the effects of pollution with social welfare has found that the negative impacts of continued exposure increase with age and also up the risk of degenerative diseases such as Alzheimer's and forms of dementia. Exposure can cause everyone to reduce their level of education by 1 year, which is huge, one of the co-authors, Jinson, of the Yale School of Public Health, told The Guardian. As part of the study, researchers from the Yale and Peking universities analyzed math and verbal skills of over 25,000 people in China between 2010 and 2014. They compared test results with nitrogen dioxide and sulfur dioxide pollution records from the subject's locality and found that the longer a person had been exposed to pollution, the greater the damage was to their intelligence, with every microgram per cubic meter rise in pollution over 3 years being equivalent to losing more than a month of education. Over 98% of cities with over 1 lakh population in lower and middle income countries of the world fail to meet WHO air quality guidelines, alerted the writers, urging governments to take measures immediately. According to the World Health Organization, close to 70 lakh people across the world already die premature deaths due to pollution. According to another study, Indians are estimated to lose up to 1.5 years from their lifespan simply by breathing in pollution. A United Nations report has called for Myanmar's top generals to be prosecuted for
genocide, crimes against humanity, and war crimes.
The report charges Myanmar's civilian leader, Nobel Peace Laureate Aung San Suu Kyi, of failing to use her moral authority to prevent violence against the Rohingya. UN investigators were not given access to Myanmar, but interviewed over 800 witnesses who had fled the violence. The report says investigators found conclusive evidence of the military killing indiscriminately, gang raping women, assaulting children, and burning entire villages. 25,000 people are estimated to have been killed since the first waves of violence in 2012, and over 700,000 have fled to neighboring Bangladesh. The Rohingya have been described by the United Nations as one of the most persecuted minorities in the world. The Myanmar military have defended their actions as being in response to attack by Rohingya militants. It was exactly 1 year ago that the military, backed by the Buddhist militia, started a brutal operation that forced thousands to flee. The UN top human rights official had then said, "It appears to be a textbook example of ethnic cleansing." And it was a 1-2 podium finish in the 800 meters for India, with Manjit Singh stunning everyone with a late surge that won him the gold. Jinson Johnson bagged the silver. PV Sindhu won a historic silver medal as she went down to world number 1 Tai Zi-Yung in the badminton singles finals. And heartbreak for the men's compound archery team, losing the gold with the narrowest of margins. That's it for now. We'll be back tomorrow.